think I told you this yesterday, one of the last times. There you go.
They're lying to me now. They've been lying to me my whole life. Welcome, everybody, to the Useless Eater Show.
What up?
We're live from Las Vegas. I'm wearing my Make Groceries Affordable Again shirt I got from Real Alex
Yeah.
or
RealAlexJonesStore.com. RealAlexJonesStore.com. I picked up some of them gummies, bro. I'm gonna check out the
Nice.
I'm gonna check out that CMOS.
Yes.
Something's going on with Alex Jones, man. The dude's getting yoked up. He's looking. I know he's got a trainer. I follow his trainer on X, so he's working out. I think he's working out like 6-7 days a week, man.
I don't think the audio's set up, but I'll set the audio up. But we'll cut to that real quick. I think Alex is on. He's going live. Let's cut into him for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the audio to work here.
He's trying to break down. He says, I know exactly what's going on with these drones, and he's breaking it down right now. So let's check it out.
So on a radar
Let's
sonar
check out some
from
AJ.
the isotope and a reading that
Live.
all a sniffing drone for chemicals.
Yeah, what the
needs
hell
is
is that, bro?
sensors in there.
These
that-
videos
that
he's
scoop
showing,
up
man.
the
It's
air and have a
crazy.
filter, and then they pick it up and then report back, or go back and they download the information. So the reason I mention that is every point I make has thousands of research points behind it. Okay, so it's impossible to give you all the evidence on each piece. Just it would take 50 hours or longer. But when I'm sitting here telling you something, this is what's going on. So you have to ask then, why are they hyping this? Is because there might be a nuke or something along those lines on the East Coast. Now, you can go back a year ago, 6 months ago, right before the election. Crew found the clips, but if I play those, it'll take the whole show. I said it. Mike Adams said it. Jack Posobiec said it. General Flynn said it. I mean, the crew found over 100 clips of us on the show, me and my guest, myself and the guest, saying another big thing they could do is set off a nuke, maybe even kill Trump with a nuke, or set one off to create a national emergency as Trump is coming in, and or, again, detonate one here or in Ukraine or Europe and blame the Russians. And there'll be such anger, a lot of people will, pile onto that. So that's a very chilling area of this.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But then when I get into the laws that are on the books and the laws they're trying to pass, and there's two of those right now, there's then another law passed in 2007, and this is the meat of it right now,
Is this the COG?
that they added to the continuity of government system.
What's
that
COG?
Congress
Continuity
passed.
of
So it's a
government.
law
Oh.
that not just for a nuclear attack, not just for a biological attack, not just for an economic collapse or asteroid or massive natural disaster, but for any type of drone or UAV crisis, the continuity of government, Northcom, real shadow government, real deep state. I don't mean just bureaucrats that are always there that we call the deep state that are one layer. I mean the official deep state that's based in NORAD in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and in Cheyenne Mountain nearby, and at Mount Weather and Site R. And write all this down, folks. I'm going to give you real names here. People know about Cheyenne Mountain, but you know about Site R? Most folks don't, but it's on the record. Just nobody knows about it. Maybe 1 out of 50 million. You know,
Site
Mount
R.
Weather. I mean, you need to learn about these terms I'm giving you. These are just a few.
Probably Area
Spend days on each
51.
little term I just gave you. Each
Could
little
be. That's why I'm looking it up right now.
So under the COG law since 2007 that was updated, they can use any phenomenon of unidentified craft to then kick in the hundreds and hundreds, hell, it's got to be trillions of dollars in black budget COG infrastructure, the underground bases, the underground railways, the underground systems, to trigger that and to get that in place. And then why would you trigger and activate that when it's already there, unless you're about to kill Trump or set off a nuke? Because that'll certainly get a Trump off his agenda of getting the border shut down and turning the energy back on and getting us out of the Paris global carbon tax system and blocking the central bank digital currencies and all the things he's doing. Well, when they warm up and fire up and go from just operating in the background, the whole Northcom COG alternate government system, they're now firing that up as they are already dissolving national sovereignty and the power of the presidency to fold that in. And then the COG system appoints the new regional governors of the 10 FEMA regions. That could also be done under the UN treaty. We didn't sign it because we exposed it, but it's still operating because it's the U.S. government and Biden and the globalists that wrote the new UN treaty. Look it up. So they don't even care if it didn't pass. They're going to use COG, continuity of government,
to seize power.
They're going to use the Northcom system. So, new legislation for drone control and this new drone department like the FAA. Show you that.
The head of the FAA just resigned recently as well.
Yeah. Powers that are coming up.
Yeah, I found a Site R
not voted
he's talking about.
Where's that at?
Pennsylvania.
And there's
a fight
between this new agency they want to set up and the old agency.
You could read it down, read it real quick if you want.
You've got
yeah, let's go to that.
Yeah, man. So it's basically Raven Rock Mountain Complex, also known as Site R, is a U.S. military installation base with an underground nuclear bunker. Okay, it's a U.S. military installation with an underground nuclear bunker near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania, at Raven Rock Mountain that has been called an underground Pentagon. The bunker has emergency operation centers for the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps, along with Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center in Virginia and the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado. He mentioned that. It formed the core bunker complexes for the U.S. continuity of government plan during the Cold War to survive a nuclear attack. Huh. What is going on there, bro? I mean, Alex, man, just dropping nuggets all the time. I never heard that
Kirby. You heard that Kirby guy the other day. He was talking about, well, we got to get some new legislation. You know, there's nothing to see here. It's nothing to be concerned about, but we need more legislation. I see, you know, and Alex has been talking about this for months. Like, there are strategies.
The government?
Well, not so much that he actually named it, as they're going to do all the fuckery they can to keep Trump from ever putting his hand on the Bible and taking, like, I sure as hell hope not.
Yeah.
So you heard that dark
this
journalist.
is all on Wikipedia about
Site R.
That. So yeah. So I mean, it's like it's not. I mean, I'm not that I trust Wikipedia because Wikipedia is Wikipedia, but they're making it sound like I mean, it's it's a thing. It's like they're not hiding anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and here I got a little clip from that show the other day he did with the dark journalist. That was it was really good.
I missed that. I gotta watch that.
I'll tell you this. It's interesting when you mention Musk as well, because Musk, if you go through his X threads there, on September 30th, did in fact put out a post that said drone swarms are coming and they're going to be beyond belief. Now, that's a prediction that he made.
That was back in September.
Right, I'm wrong. And it was in connotation, I think, to China and saying the F-30 whatever is a piece of crap. Oh, you're right. He did say something. Guys, pull that up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because, he's got that inside track. There's no question about it. Now, I've put on the record before that he can't say anything about UFOs. given his position. And that's a problem because he certainly knows a great deal about them, but he can't talk about them because of his relationship with the government in space. And, you know, he's privatized. There's no
Right.
doubt he's trying to get more inside that government box with Trump, but it's a private organization, SpaceX, let's remember. And there are groups out there like DARPA, et cetera, that you need agreements with just to operate up there. And you need those agreements with the Air Force and the Space Force. So there's no way that he can let things out, as it were, and talk about the UFO file, although he knows a great deal about it. There's another thing about the types of imagery that they collect. And if the U.S. spy satellites are collecting those and SpaceX collects them, then they have to turn all that over. So I do think what we're looking at here is something which I've tried to put on the record before, which is they've created a UFO threat. And the UFO threat gives them the ultimate ability to call in an emergency powers situation.
Oh, did I read it wrong?
Activate a continuity of government program.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's the kind of crisscross that's been building up in the
I didn't
background.
read it. That's what he just said.
And on some level, it's a high-risk gamble on their side.
No, he said drone wars coming. Epic drone wars coming.
To call in an emergency powers situation and activate a continuity of government program. That's the kind of crisscross that's been building up in the background. And on some level, it's a high-risk gamble on their side. So there's been a lot of trial balloons in relation to this. Now, when we look at the New Jersey situation, it's interesting that a lot of this started right in Monmouth. And if you go into the history of Monmouth, that's where the exotic technology was developed very early on. And they shut that base down once it became known. And it's very interesting if you go through it now, because just recently Netflix bought 300 acres over there in Monmouth.
And there he says drone swarm battles are coming that will boggle the mind.
UFO file.
September 29th.
President Obama financed a movie about Betty and Barney Hill and their abduction experience. So there's something major going live. What I see technically happening, though, with the drone swarms and with all the reports and how there's a split between what the government is saying, which is total whitewash and absurd, that it's just planes, et cetera. No, people don't, you know, people are used to planes. This is definitely a drone swarm, and it's a test. And the question is, will that test go live into a full-blown emergency powers situation? That's the activation that the person who set that up, they want to go beyond, they want to go to the third level of this and get into emergency powers. Once you have emergency powers activated, then Gregory Gio, who is the general that runs NORTHCOM, and he also is in charge of NORAD, and he's the COG combatant commander, he becomes the complete ruler of the United States and sets out regional governors. And the regional governors that he sets up are supposed to be there until we can have an election sometime after the alien invasion eases up. But, you know, definitely what they're doing with the drones, you know, yes, we know drone technology, so they're UFOs, but they're technically known.
The world's largest drone light show.
They
put that on in Japan. Or no, China.
The type of data back that they need, and then they can see whether or not they can make this test go live. And when we've seen drills and things in the past that went live, if you look at all the deep events through history, whether it's 9/11 or the different financial crashes and things, there's always a drill that's taking place, as we know, close by. And so this is the drill. But I'll tell you, it's so dangerously close to that line of the UFO threat thing that's been pushed by the intelligence community. And they've sent a lot of people out there running these congressional hearings, especially in the past 2 years, but from 2017 and the New York Times article on UFOs.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so I mean, they've tried everything they can to push us into nuclear war with Russia. You know, opened up the borders and hurrying in as many people, illegal aliens, as they can. There's, you know, threats of war and rumors of war all around the world, and then now we gotta get everybody really cooking on this drone swarm or drone battles, you know, so they can kick in this continuity of government plan. That's the real deep state. Oh my gosh.
Continuity of governance, which was set up to protect us so that all of those agencies can stay afloat if we were hit by a nuclear attack.
Wow.
Apparently, that's what I just read, and that's not. I didn't read the whole thing, but interesting. Another rabbit hole to go down, my guy. Another one to go down. I just followed Dark Journalist on Rumble. He's on YouTube. He's got a big following on YouTube, like 170,000. But probably just jumped over. I'm going to go ahead and listen to this guy a little bit because he's very good.
Yeah, Alex says he's going to let him host this next week, 2-hour show. So I'm looking forward to that. I watched a couple of his YouTube videos, very knowledgeable, and he talks about a wide range of subjects, but he seems really like he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what his name is. I think his last name is List or something like that. Or I forgot what his name is. Dark Journalist.
Yeah, he's good, man. Interesting to say the least. He goes into some deep shit. I mean, he really got, the Dark Journalist. I mean, I think he kind of specializes in the UFO stuff, though, right?
Dark Journalist Daniel List is an independent investigative reporter and documentary filmmaker who coined the term dark journalism to introduce crucial areas of research and investigation that the mainstream media refused to touch.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I like it. So, anyway, so yeah, Alex turns us on to a lot of different shit, man.
Sure. And one of the things I really like, I watch Alex, and sometimes you'll hear him just go on, and he takes the time, to really spell. He talks, he's very predictive, he's like strategic. He's thinking steps ahead, trying to figure out what they're going to do, and wants to cover a wide range of what they're going to do. So that, and not so much that he can say that he was right or that he told us, but the only way to really be able to fight evil is to know that, what they're doing and what the game plan is and try to expose it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I mean, nobody, again, I saw a post on X by Andrew Tate, and he was talking about how, you're telling me the military that we have will shoot you. I mean, basically what Alex Jones is saying, he's saying basically they will shoot you if you don't identify yourself. They don't know what you are. They'll shoot you out of the air. Nobody's shooting down these drones, man. You know what I mean? These, whatever this is that's happening on the East Coast, nobody's shooting the stuff down. He goes, so he gives you 5 bullet points. This is what they'll do. If you don't respond, and they will find out, they'll blah, 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 or it's the government, figure it out. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on with all that stuff. And I don't think, somebody knows what's going on with that stuff. Elon might know because, he's kind of in the know, like, what they were just talking about being kind of plugged into the whole Space Force deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And DARPA and some of those other, there's so many different programs that are black budget. We don't even know what they are.
Oh, I know, dude. It's just crazy. And I can't wait to see what the Doge does with all that stuff, From what I understand, Elon and Vivek are doing this voluntarily too, so that's kind of cool.
Well, and to kick a whole nother rabbit hole, I was watching this World War II gold show where all this gold that the Japanese hid in the Philippines. Yeah, literally back in those days, the CIA came in, and after we won the war with MacArthur and all them, they came in and they took charge of billions and billions of dollars worth of all that gold and use that to fund some of this black budget that they've actually bankrolled, years and years of stuff that they're doing that's totally off the books.
Well, yeah, and now they're grabbing it from Social Security. So, dude, let's just be honest. They are, it's a slush fund of cash, and they're just kind of using it, and hopefully, we'll have enough. That's why that's all part of the whole, if you think about it, man, they're saying, birth rates are really low. Who's going to fund those, entitlement programs? Illegal immigrants. Let's get as more people in here that can pay into that system. You know what I mean? That's part of the equation with all that thing. If you think about it, right? We know that birth rates are plummeting. People aren't having as many kids. We know China's has a huge problem right now because of their one-child program that they did. They got no girls there, right? I mean, not no, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So now they're saying you can, hey man, procreate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. It's all these globalists have these great ideas, and they've got all the money to push the buttons and pay off the lobby and hire the lobbyists to go and push the agendas, and they get it done, and none of it's good. You know, it's the whole climate change thing too. All this bullshit with the that's all bullshit. You know what I mean? The thing I saw, there was a post from the Babylon Bee that California proposed a check your carbon privilege, and it was a joke. But I mean, dude, I guarantee you, soon enough, they will put a carbon tax on human beings based on the oxygen that we breathe and the CO2 that we exhale.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it was a satire piece, but some green tard's going to think it's a good idea, bro. Some green tard is going to think that that's a great idea. So limit your breathing, because we don't want you exhaling all that CO2 or die. Exactly. Right. You know, you listen to Yuval Noah Harari from the World Economic Forum, #2. I guess he's like supposedly Klaus Schwab's. I guess Klaus Schwab stepped down. I don't know who's running it now, but whatever. I mean, he's like the guy that says that human, functionality is going to become useless in the not too distant future.
I think Mike Adams said something. I think this is the right clip. Let's see if this is it here.
It's military. It's all about military. They, again, those drone swarm demonstrations, that's about having weapon systems so that, I mean, you think about what's happening in the Middle East right now with Israel and the IDF. They don't want to lose soldiers. So what they want, autonomous systems to replace the humans so that they're not attriting human beings, because they don't have that many people compared to the other countries, right? But everywhere in the world, Russia, Ukraine, China, US,
it's all drone
Mexico,
war. It's already accelerating. That's how they knocked out Syria so fast, was drones.
100%. But what I'm saying is that first we're going to see human armies transition into humanoid robotic and dog robot armies that are trained on this digital world simulator, which has a physics engine in it. It simulates gravity, it simulates friction, mass, momentum, air, everything. It's like a matrix for robot training, okay? And no longer does a programmer have to specifically code the movements of a robot.
No, you just give the missions, and then it war games every possible scenario and finds the best.
Exactly. And just like generative text models right now, or generative video models can produce a movie now, and they can reproduce you. They can produce an Alex Jones broadcast that's pretty, similar to your likeness. Well, they're going to be able to produce behavior models now with these physical robots that can manipulate things in the physical world. And then, Alex, where this goes next, after they prove these robots on the battlefield, they're coming for us. We're next.
And by the way, Eric Schmidt, who's running all this with the Pentagon, who says we should, ban free speech and use the military against anti-vaxxers, said that at Stanford 3 months ago. He says this is the entire future. Humans are gone. And meanwhile, they're sabotaging the human systems, poisoning us, castrating our sons, cutting off the food. John Kerry said this year, we got to cut off half the farming or people will starve. He actually said that. Yeah. I mean, this is it.
Well, right. And agriculture will at first be taken over by the robots, right? Because they'll have opposable thumbs, and they can go in and pick strawberries and things. So as soon as that happens, then at some point there will be centralized control over the robot systems. It'll be classified, it'll be Pentagon controlled, whatever. And then they can just turn off farms. They can just turn them off. What they can do is they can sweep in, just like the USDA says, let's test milk for bird flu, which is ridiculous. It's absurd. But they can say, well, we went to this farm and we found a strawberry with bird flu. Shut down the farm, and all they do is they turn off all the robots, and it's done. You can't fight back against that. They just turn them all off. This is like the movie I, Robot, right?
And it sounds good. And under the ESG, BlackRock's saying we don't want any more pesticides, which sounds great. Now we're going to have robots with lasers that kill all the bugs and kill all of the weeds. That's already rolling out. So again, by law, you have to replace the humans because it's for the earth.
And so then the globalists, as you well know, they've always called us useless eaters. They're going to say, well, gosh, we no longer need 70, 80% of the human population.
Wow. And thus the name of our show, The Useless Eaters.
I mean, it's pretty...
It's unbelievable. It's just...
You can see it happening. I mean, what was he? What were they both talking about just there about the robots that are killing the pests and doing the thing? And they're both like, and they're rolling those out. And I'm like, and Mike's like, yeah. And I'm like, and Mike Adams is,
he's into AI. He's got a company that
he is in the know on that shit.
in the
You know what I mean?
technology, right?
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I mean, there's just some. It's funny, man. I was at work the other day, and my boss, the director of ops at the place I work at, comes in and he pulls me. Hey, Jeffy, come here for a second. And he puts me in front of one of the lead therapists there, lead clinicians, and he just walks into the room and he goes, "Hey, come here. I want you to come. I need to talk to you and Steve, this guy, for a second. I don't want to blow anybody's, anyway." He's like, "So you got to come in here and." Because, I talked to him about, the HAARP satellites and all the crazy shit that goes on with the weather and how they can manipulate it. And he's like, "What, dude?" And he takes me into this guy's office and he goes, "Okay, guys, I brought you together." He goes, "I'm just going to say one thing, climate engineering." And then he walks out of the room. And my buddy's like, "Oh, it's all bullshit, man. They can't do anything about that. You can't create a hurricane. You can't direct a hurricane." I'm like, whoa, bro. Whoa. I think you need to have a little bit more of an open mind. And we got in this conversation. He goes, "Climate engineering isn't real, bro. It doesn't happen. And you're going to tell me about chemtrails." I'm like, "Well, it's actually called stratospheric aerosol injection now." And he goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. They're putting barium, aluminum, all sorts of shit up into the sky that is probably not good for, when it drops down." He goes, "Yeah, but cloud seeding is a good thing." I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? But isn't that climate engineering?" And he goes, "You got a point." And I'm like, "So, I mean, you should watch a couple of things. I turned him on to Dane Wigington thing. Anyway, the bottom line is these guys sound like they're crazy to the layperson. You know what I mean? If you put that in front of someone that is just, Joe Lunchbox doing his thing, going to work, coming home, paying his bills, going out to have dinner once in a while with the girl or the fam or whatever, they're going to look at you and go, "Dude, you're fucking nuts." And then you show that to them, it's like, this is the shit you listen to, and they're not going to believe it, man. They're not going to believe it. They have no. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of folks that just have no clue that the evil that's out there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
there's a lot of evil out there, bro. A lot.
Yeah, I mean, even when Helene happened, and I'm sure there was weather modification going on. But if you talk about it
there's
too
some
much,
people that showed the freaking radar of it just getting pushed. It's like the trajectory was going this way, and then all of a sudden you see what are those towers that they have?
Those towers are going off that are shooting.
Yeah.
Across the country,
ionizing the air above it, and it's pushing it in a certain direction. And you can just see it move after the charge of these satellite or these towers go up. I forgot the name of them, man. But
I remember bringing it up to my brother-in-law. We're out to dinner here in Vegas, and I bring it up, and he's a ex-military Navy guy into nuclear type stuff, and
yeah,
I bring that up to him, and he just looks at me and he's like, "Nah, they're not doing that. You're crazy." It's like,
right?
Yeah, there's some that
compartmentalizing. Yeah. Of the. You're going to go into the military. You're going to do the job that you're ordered to do. You're not going to know about what's going on behind door number 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you'll be an expert in this field at these things, and that's all.
Right. You sit here and make your little widgets over here, and these guys over here are going to be making these widgets. They don't know what widgets you're making. They don't know what you're doing in this room. You don't need to know what they're doing in that room. But there's a guy over those 2 rooms that say this, and he doesn't know what's going on the other 4 rooms that are over there. And then there's another 3 guys that are handling those other 12 rooms in the back of the bunker. And then they get together, or they give their thing up to the 2 guys that know everything that's going on, that shoots it to whoever's in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's compartmentalization. So I mean, like,
Speaking of this Hurricane Helene, I had this video that I should have played back then, but I got it from let's see, I got it from FinFan. Got to play this real quick.
It's military. It's all about military. They, again, those drone swarm.
Looks like I didn't do it right. Let's see. Let me go to this. Let me try it one more time. I didn't finish the last one. Now I got 2 things playing at the same time. We got a technical problem here, folks.
Its name is Gil.
It's military.
Hurricane
I'm
Helene is
kidding.
all
About
landfall
military.
I'm
They
kidding.
All right, let's try it again.
Hurricane Helene is set to make landfall tonight in Florida and the Tampa area. And guys, it's not looking good. 105-mile-per-hour winds.
And no
look at the
audio?
name of the
There we
hurricane,
go.
Helene. Coincidentally, that's my ex-wife's name. Our divorce was finalized this week, and if this thing is anything like her, it's going to take your car, it's going to take your house, it's going to ruin your damn life. All right, probably blow the neighbors too, but I digress. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry to put my air out. It's been a rough week. And guess what? If you're in this area right here, the Tampa area, you're going to have a rough week as well. Okay, and by the way, another coincidence, her mom and dad, Helene's mom and dad are from Tampa. So hey, John, Marge, you're going to feel it too. You're going to feel the wrath of Helene like I have for the past 4 years. It's going to be aggressive. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, this thing is going to catch some of the illegals that the Biden-Harris administration let in and fling these Mexicans back into Mexico, right? You want to talk about deportation? That'd be the best way to do it. And look at this. Guys, this is not good, all right? Tampa. Why the hell are you living in Tampa anyway? Let's be honest. Who wakes up and goes, you know, honey, let's move to Tampa? Helene's mom and dad, that's who. And it's coming, guys. So this is going to be aggressive. By the way, I've never even seen purple before. Have we ever seen purple on the show? This is not good. And what the hell is that? This can't be good. You know what that looks like? That right there? That looks like Satan's butthole. And there he is. And if you live there, you're going to feel the wrath, just like how I felt the wrath of Helene. So Robert, Mark, thank you guys so much for raising a daughter that ruined my life. If you're in Tampa, get the hell out. I'm done.
Holy shit. Who's that guy?
Thanks,
was
Fin
hilarious.
Fan.
That was fucking hilarious. Oh my God. That was good. But you know, I mean, it's weird how, you know, I mean, it just destroyed that area that's right on that crazy, you know, they're saying, you know, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, is it a lithium? There's a big, huge fight for the lithium up there, bro. In North
and
Carolina.
crystals or
They
something
want to mine
else.
it. They want to mine the lithium, and that's the area that got trashed. I mean, coincidence? I mean, what is our?
But
boy
we've got
say,
$1 billion
man?
to give to Africa, so hey, you know, forget about all those folks.
Oh
who
yeah,
need
and I
help
guess they're
in
going
North
to jam through
Carolina.
another $40 billion to Ukraine in weapons and whatnot, dude. I mean, it's just fucking stupid, man. There's just some
Here we go.
stupidity. People that are dumb are running things. Or not dumb. I'm not going to say. You know what? They're clearly not dumb. They're very, very corrupt, though. Very. I mean, where you know where the fuck has Biden been, man? I haven't seen him at all lately. At all. Everybody's focusing on Trump. Trump's not the president yet, man. I mean, he's the president-elect. He is the president-elect. You know, he doesn't take office for another freaking month, man. You know what I mean? Month and a couple days.
Yeah, what is it? Like 35, 36 days.
Something like that. I mean, but dude, I mean, the bottom line
Can't
is
happen
like,
soon
what's going on? What's going on? I mean, all they're focusing on right now, you don't see what Biden's up to. You don't know all the money that he's trying to do, what they're doing. Dude, I mean, I've been watching Burquam on Rav, man. I mean, dude, they're still pushing tons of illegals through with the CPB app. Tons. You'd figure, you know, Trump's in, man. They're jamming as many folks in as they possibly can.
Yeah, here I got that video queued up. Let's see if I can get it to work here.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of them I said. That one's yeah, dude. Him and Oscar Blue are down there, and they're just like, holy crap, man. I mean, they're just still.
Here, got migrants? What are you doing?
Venezuela! Venezuela!
Venezuela. Oh, migrants. Are they getting on the bus?
Ah, jeez. And you got a car.
Okay, so as we're doing the video on the terror,
that's like right now too. I mean, not this very moment,
run
but
across
like
the road, almost
today or
hit.
yesterday.
It's happening,
And
yeah.
we noticed there's a bus, a tour bus right there. It had pulled over. It was about to let them on. Oscar started filming it, saw that we were filming, and it took off without him. Tell us why that's a big deal, Oscar.
Because
big deal.
these tour buses, if they're stopping to pick up migrants, they are charging them a lot of money to take them to one place to another. You know, sometimes they charge between $100 to $150 per person. And the migrant, these are migrants that they're receiving remittance from the United States to get them all the way to the United States. So
There's another one right there. So this bus was pulling over to pick up the illegals. So, just to clarify that, we caught a tour bus about to illegally pick up illegals, and the only reason it didn't was because we're filming it. And I feel kind of bad for the guys stuck on the side of the road now. They thought they were getting picked up, but it just shows there's this all kinds of illegal activity over here. That tour bus thought he was going to make a few extra bucks, but as soon as the cameras came out, he just ditched them on the side of the road. So on top of them just making money, aiding and abetting the human trafficking, smuggling operations, the invasion of America, they're also putting the illegals in danger. If I hadn't been paying attention, I would have killed that girl running across. She ran right out across a freeway in the middle of traffic to get on that bus, which had parked in a very dangerous place, simply to pick them up and make some extra money. So it's just all bad. It's bad everywhere. It's all bad.
100%.
They're coming from all over. It is not stopping. It's not slowing down. As long as they feel like there's an opportunity to get in, they're going to keep coming. And as long as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris keep the doors open, it's just going to continue like this. And the worst part is they know it. They know this is setting up. They know it's going to be a disaster. They know all these people have to be deported, and they're going to try to blame President Trump for what they caused.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Dude. And again, they're still, I mean, you would think this crazy CPB or CBP app, whatever it is, that they set up to where, basically they're flying folks in. If you got this app, you click it on and they fly you. You're not coming across the border in the open areas, right? You're coming across through the ports of entry because you got this app, and they say legal, but it's not legal. You know what I mean? It's just they're listen, man, you can't blame the migrants that want to come across. You can't do that. I mean, they're being sold a lie, bro. And they're buying it up like crazy. So, they're coming. They're still coming. And, that CBP app should be adios.
Yeah,
but
I'm
not.
surprised they haven't been able to get that disabled, but of course it's not.
Well, it's Mayorkas and it's, the administration, man. They've got, that's their plan. I mean, like I said, they're just, what did
running their plan.
It's like it's the worst form of evil. That's what it is.
This is this is that other video from Ben.
Well, these people are just going to be. You can't. I mean, again, can't blame them for wanting to better their lives, and they're offered a bunch of different shit.
Here's that other video you had.
Yeah.
¿De dónde son? Venezuela, CBP1. ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos? ¿Ah? No? Chicago? No? Nothing? Pregnant? ¿De dónde son?
Cuba.
Cuba. ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos?
Utah.
Utah. Okay, ¿qué parte?
Salt Lake City, Salt Lake.
Oh, Salt Lake City. Okay, gracias. ¿Y tú? ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos?
Carolina Norte.
North Carolina? Okay.
Cuba.
Oh, Cuba. ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos?
A Tampa.
Tampa? Okay.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay. ¿Qué parte? No sé. Okay. ¿Y tú? Chicago. Haiti? Haiti, okay. And New York? New York, okay. A CBP1? Okay.
Hondureño, Catracho.
Hondureño, okay. ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos?
Carolina del Norte, Honduras.
Honduras? ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos? Huh?
Nueva Orleans, Louisiana.
Louisiana, New Orleans, okay. So we've got some breaking news down here in Matamoros, Mexico. I've been here multiple times, and there's another bridge about a mile down the way where we've done the interviews. You would be able to go and interview people on the bridge. It appears that they've moved it to try to hide what's happening right on top of this railroad track right here. We got here this morning. We got word that they had moved it down here. We came down here, noticed a big group of people back over here in the secure area. Got the National Guard over there. Mexican National Guard told us we couldn't pass this area over here. In the past, we've had full access. Again, it wasn't being done here, but now they've moved it over here. They say we can't film, we can't go past this area over here. There's a big group here. Apparently that group was flown in this morning from Mexico City. That group is then handed off. You've got vehicles waiting out over here. They're picked up. They're taken to local hotels. This is the group that was flown in yesterday that was just interviewing, mostly Venezuela, Cuba, Honduras, Haiti. This is the group that's going to be handed over to CBP1. They've got their appointment today, but instead of going and waiting online where we could go and interview them there, they bring them over here. They have them wait here, and then the immigration buses come and pick them up, and they actually take them and drive them over and hand them over, so they're not actually just walking across the port of entry. They're being driven over there. This is 2 days after President Trump won, after he has announced largest deportations in American history. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are still inviting the invasion. This is the three-legged stool of the invasion we've talked about between the United Nations, the NGOs, open borders politicians in America, and the criminal organizations that are all operating, that are all profiting off of the invasion of America. Ben Bergquam, Real America's Voice News, reporting live from Matamoros, Mexico.
Right up till so we got 36
35
days. And in
36
35 days, and they're not done.
Not even close, bro. Not even close. So, and you know, I mean, where are the funding's coming from where, man? I mean, is it some kind of, I mean, the NGOs that are getting paid, they're all getting paid, you know what I mean? They're all getting paid somehow from somewhere. I mean, I remember when Bergquam went down to the Darien Gap, him and Oscar Blue, they were down there, and there was, dude, I mean, telling you, bro, it looked like a convention. And, you know, they had all the different charities that were getting funded by these NGOs that were down there to show people what to say, how to say it, and what to do when they got to the border. And then they kind of sent them on their way. And I can't even imagine the amount of bones that are littering the
Darien Gap
ground. Well,
Yeah.
coming up through when you start on the journey up, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people that are, you know, I mean, apparently I've heard that they were saying that it looked like they're sending them on a vacation, and it looks like it's just going to be great. And then you get there and they're like, yeah, you got to walk through this jungle to get up there. You know, women, babies, the whole deal, man. I mean, they walked up on, you know, the rape trees. They showed so much of it, man, back when it was, you know, before the election. And now,
and
it's
our
still
news
happening.
media are they're meeting in secret, planning all of the photo ops that they're going to try to get when Tom Holman goes to work.
Bro, did you
getting these
see
people deported?
Oh yeah. It's going to be crazy. They're going to make it's going to be racist, xenophobe, yada yada yada, all over again. And it's like, listen, these people don't commit as many crimes as the Americans do. I mean, because they bring that up all the time. It's just like, these are just people wanting a better life. It's like, yeah, I get that. I get that part of it, man. But they broke the law to get here. So by definition, they're all criminals.
And that's why those NGOs have to be prosecuted. I mean,
They need to be
everybody has to be
prosecuted more.
prosecuted who put this whole plan together and put it into motion, because they're responsible for those deaths and those rapes and the
Listen, man,
trafficking and the horrific things that have happened.
100%. And, you know, I mean, again, listen, I didn't even get started on the trafficking. There's the human trafficking, which includes this, you know, the slave, you know, the labor slavery and the sex slavery. And let's not forget the organ harvesting, man. Everybody thinks that that's some kind of crazy conspiracy theory. It's not. That shit's happening too.
And the fentanyl and all the illegal drugs. that
Well,
are
let's not even
poured
get
into this
started with
country.
that. I
And
mean,
the
you know, they're
people that
saying
have died
averaging
because of that.
75,000 people a year are dying here in America because of that.
And the
Again,
families of all the
replacement-
victims, you know, that have been raped and killed, and
Dude, it's
they're taking
replacement
over
migration.
apartment complexes, and oh my gosh,
Dude,
can you believe it?
it goes on
Can
and
you-
on.
Wow.
It goes on and on, bro. It just goes on and on. So I mean, it's like, you know, again, I'm not my hill to die on is, you know, exposing as much of the climate scam as I possibly can, but because, you know, I just can't buy the carbon thing anymore. And you know, of course, you know, and people like Nicole Shanahan and people, I'm really listening to a lot of these people about our food, exposing big pharma for the scam that they are. You know, even, you know, the healthcare system is just a fucking scam. The whole thing is just, you know, the more I read, the more I examine, the more I get disgusted, and I just question everything, bro. I question everything.
Yeah, and we need to. Okay, so we're going to do a new spot today. I don't know how it's going to work, but this is going to be, let's see if this works here. This is going to be Survival Stories with FinFan.
FinFan?
Yeah, because FinFan sent me access to so much information that I got to start to share some of it on some of these shows. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. Let's see if I can zoom this up a little bit. Today's survival story with FinFan is 75 obsolete items that will become indispensable. By Claude Davis. 75 obsolete things that will be essential again. And we'll just jump on past the table of contents. During the Cold War, everyone's greatest fear was of the carnage that would be caused by a thermonuclear war. That danger hasn't gone away, but it certainly subsided. Of the 4 countries capable of launching a major nuclear attack on the U.S., 2, the UK and France, are allies. China is too locked into the U.S. economy to contemplate a war, and while Russia is the only potential opponent that has the nuclear firepower to destroy the USA, they know that the retaliatory strike would destroy them just as thoroughly. The risk of a major nuclear war is as low as it's been at any time since the 50s, except for today.
Yeah. Yeah, when was that written?
This, I have to go back and look. An EMP weapon is probably the best chance anyone has of hitting the USA and getting away with it. For starters, you don't need many weapons. There's no way to hide where a full-scale strike is coming from. But if you only need to launch 3 or 4 missiles to cripple most of the country, that's a lot easier. A handful of Scud missiles fired from hijacked cargo ships off the coast would do the job. It could take a long time before the government could be sure who was to blame. They might never know. Even if the USA did find out who was responsible, it might be politically difficult to launch a nuclear strike in retaliation. After all, an EMP wouldn't directly kill anyone. The weapons would go off far too high for any physical effects to reach the ground. They wouldn't explode on U.S. soil or even in U.S. airspace. National airspace extends to a height of 50 miles, but EMP weapons detonate 300 miles up or even higher. Legally, an EMP going off 350 miles above the USA wouldn't be an attack. It would violate treaties about nuclear weapons in space, but that's about it. So, if we get down here, the first obsolete thing that will be essential again after something like that occurred would be a wood burning range. Your kitchen stove is one of the most important items in your whole house, but unless it runs on bottled gas after an EMP, it's going to stop working. For most people, that's going to be a disaster. If you have an old wood burning range around, you'll be fine, but you got to have wood to burn.
I have a feeling there might be quite a bit of that available.
Not here in Las Vegas.
Oh, we can find wood.
I'll start taking my house apart.
Yeah, something, bro. And they're making, most of these houses are made with the metal studs now anyway. So
not a lot of wood. Yeah. Number 2 would be a wood stove.
There you go.
Number 3 would be like a rotisserie spit, so that you can hang a pot of water and heat it.
Or an animal.
Or an animal, right.
And
right. Oh, no, the swing trivet would be to hang.
What's the swing trivet?
That would be one of those things that you could hang a water on and swing it over the fire and boil it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, number 5 would be maps. When's the last time you used a map?
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I was pretty good with the old Thomas guide back in the day before all this craziness was going on. So
I don't have my Thomas guide anymore.
I don't either.
Everything's on my phone. And an EMP, you have no access to your a compass.
GPS.
A compass. I mean, I kind of generally know which way north, east, and west and south is, but if if we had cloud cover over the sky, you wouldn't know.
All right. That old truck.
Yeah, if you're replacing an old vehicle, consider hanging on to it. If it's old enough, there's a good chance it's going to be EMP resistant. Anything with electronic engine management will be instantly immobilized by an electromagnetic pulse, but old-style engines are a lot tougher. Something like an early 80s Toyota Hilux is sturdy, it has good cross-country performance, and can be picked up cheaply. It also has an excellent chance of surviving an EMP. Especially if you take the distributor wiring out and store it in a Faraday cage until it's needed. Oh, there's an idea.
Wow.
Bicycles. Hey, there's no shortage of bikes around, but for most people, they're a hobby or fitness aid, with most vehicles immobilized by electromagnetic damage, they'll become a vital tool for getting around.
Well, and most people are rolling with the electric ones now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That they won't work.
Landline phones.
Landline phones. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think I remember what one of those is. You couldn't walk.
Yeah,
you couldn't walk very far. You had to have a long cord on it, or
there ain't
or
no
you'd be
walking.
sitting over there by the phone, mounted to the
I
wall.
remember the phone on the wall with the long curly cord with the dial, bro.
Yeah.
You put that in front of anybody these days, they're not gonna know what the fuck that is.
Well, that's the beginning of our new little thing that we're going to do, our survival stories with FinFan. Hope you enjoyed that,
Survival. We got to come up with a jingle for that, bro.
Yeah.
Find another one of those loopy freaking, trademark free things off fucking YouTube that we can use without
speaking of
getting
that,
tagged.
Since he's going to badmouth my buddies, we're going to go exclusive now to Rumble. Thank you, everybody who joined us on YouTube and